Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Edge Sports Network. We are continuing the summer series today. We have another interview for you with Amadou Sow, UC Santa Barbara men's basketball. Amadou, thanks so much for joining us here on the site today.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
No problem at all. It's great to have you on. First guy we've had on from the West Coast, so this should be interesting. And I know you were actually born in Mali and you played soccer growing up. So, what kind of introduced you to basketball? I mean, we'll start right here, right at the beginning of your career, right at the beginning of your playing days. What kind of led you to the sport?
Man, growing up, I was a skinny, tall kid,
Hmm.
and my cousin, he saw like a potential in me just from my height, and he wanted me to play basketball. And I tried the sport, and then you know, from the first day, I fell in love with it. So
Hmm.
I just kept playing.
And I mean, certainly it's worked for you so far, that's for sure. And when you come over from Mali, I mean, I know you were born there. So how is making that move from Mali to the United States? I mean, was that a tough transition? Because I know few months ago I've talked to some other guys who have made moves from whether that be Canada, Africa, outside the country. They've made the move over. They said it's a little bit of an adjustment. I mean, how was that move for you?
Yeah, for me it was a huge adjustment, especially when I first got here. I didn't speak any English, so
Hmm.
it was tough for me, to just being able to communicate with my teammates, people around me. It was tough,
Hmm.
but I was able to make the best out of it, and just stuck with what I know best and just not give up. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I know you went to Napa Christian High School and then you also played at Prolific Prep Academy. I mean, when you're in
Yeah.
high school, was the prep year, was that always kind of the plan, or was that kind of a decision that came about later in your high school career when you were like, you know what?
Well,
Yeah.
I personally didn't know. When I moved here, I didn't know what school I was going to. So
Hmm.
when I first got here, I played at the prep school right from the bat, and I played there for all my 4 years. But I kept changing high school throughout the 4 years of high school.
Hmm.
I remember I went to public school for a year. I went to two private school for the last 3 years. So
Oh,
it
wow.
was good. Yeah,
Yeah, and I
it
know,
was good.
yeah, you also played AAU as well. So, I mean, how was the AAU experience? I mean, how'd that get you ready for college basketball?
Yeah, for a guy like me, I think AAU helped me a lot because I didn't have a lot of games under my belt when I first started playing and when I first moved here.
Hmm.
So being just having the whole summer just playing around, day in day out. I think that really helped me develop as a basketball player. And I enjoyed those times. I kind of miss it sometimes
Hmm.
in the summertime, not being able to play AAU and just travel around. But it was good times.
Oh yeah, it certainly seemed like it helped. I know you had a really good freshman year. You averaged 12 points and almost 7 rebounds per game, 56% shooting. You were extremely efficient. How different was college from, prep school, high school, AAU? How'd you make that adjustment so quick to kind of fit in at college?
Um, I mean, I went to a prep school. I think I played a lot of Division 1 players
Hmm.
um, throughout the whole high school. I played, NBA prospects.
Hmm.
I think that really helped me just being able to go into a school, into a Division 1 school and establish myself so quickly because I played around with great talents throughout
Hmm.
high school. Yeah.
Certainly, certainly. I mean, you use your freshman season as a nice point to jump off there. I think it just goes back to playing with that talent that you mentioned. You seem very prepared for college. 14 points, 7 rebounds, 54% shooting this past season after your first year. I mean, you found your opportunities these first 2 years here. Can you talk about the team chemistry a little bit? I mean, how have you fit in with your teammates to kind of get your chance to play how you're capable?
Man, my teammates are like my brothers, man.
Mm-hmm.
We fit in on and off the court. We connect in another level, that's different than basketball. It's just playing with them and getting to know them personally
Hmm.
really helped have a chemistry, a strong chemistry with them, and being able to play with them and have a little bit of success that we had
Hmm.
this last season. But it was great.
You guys had a great year this year, 21-10. I know you yourself had some really good games. Were there any that stuck out to you where you felt really good, found you were in the zone, like maybe a game that gave you a lot of confidence for the rest of the year, or a game that you kind of saw as like a turning point that solidified your season?
Uh, I mean, I still haven't. I mean, I had great games throughout
Hmm.
the season, but um, the one game that stuck out to me the most, I think, that was one of my games against Hawaii in conference.
Hmm.
I think I think our first go around with them, they beat us pretty bad and I played. I didn't play exceptionally well
Hmm.
myself, so I just came out prepared and do what I had to do and just help my team the way that I can. I
For
think
sure.
that game was a turning point for me.
Hmm.
Actually, that whole week was a turning point for me. Just stepping my game up,
Hmm.
just to be more tougher.
For sure. I mean, you've helped your team so much throughout just your first 2 years in the program. You've already kind of implemented yourself as a leader on this team. You're going to be even more of a leader as you enter your junior season. You'll be an upperclassman. How would you kind of describe your leadership styles? I mean, how do you try and bring up the others around you? I know you mentioned you guys have great team chemistry. So, how do you kind of build your team around you, and how do you kind of help raise other guys up as well?
I mean, in order for me personally to bring my guys around me even closer, is I think it's to start with trust, trusting everybody that they're gonna do their job and
Hmm.
that I am gonna do my job and just just being able to uh, have them like let them play their game as well. You don't want to be too focused on yourself
Hmm.
in a situation like that. So you just have everybody play their game and have trust in one another, and everything will go. You know, everything will go even better. The chemistry will even bonding will quicker.
For sure. I think that goes back to your point about, your teammates kind of being your brothers. You always want to
Yeah.
just raise them up, have that great team chemistry, which you guys have seemed to build over these past 2 seasons here. And I got to ask you this. I mean, growing up, did you have any players that you really looked up to in the NBA, or are there any players in today's game that you really look up to as kind of the model player that you maybe hope to be sometime down the line in the future?
Yeah, I was look up to LeBron James.
Mm-hmm.
Just seeing his game and the way he carried himself on and off the court is incredible,
Mm-hmm.
and I always look up to him. Uh, Nowadays, right now, I look up a lot. I follow a lot of players just because their playing style and how they carry themselves and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But LeBron James for sure.
That's not a bad option to pick at all. Very good guy to look up to right there. Amazing career. And
Yeah.
I mean, you're heading into your junior year here. You guys are coming off a great season, 21-10. Um, so coming off a season like that, I'm sure you guys want to build upon that. Maybe even improve the record a little bit, even though it was
Yeah.
already great. What are some goals that you guys have as a team this year, and what are some personal goals that you have for yourself?
I mean, as a team, I think like my coach always tells me, with team success come individual accolade.
Hmm.
I'm trying to win or a conference championship, regular season and conference championship as well. So I think with that, with those type of accolades as a team, and we get a little bit of recognition as a
Hmm.
players from being in that team. So I think that'd be good just to build up for momentum off of those two, and also being able to go back and play in the NCAA tournament. I think
Hmm.
that'd be good. That's one of my goals as a team. Personally, I want to take my game to the next level.
Hmm.
Just keep on working on my game. Hopefully, be in the radar for some NBA scouting teams,
Mm-hmm.
just trying to get myself to the next level.
You're certainly on the right path. I mean, you've started out fantastic over at UC Santa Barbara so far. It's not something we see from every guy, just be able to come into the NCAA and put together two back-to-back solid seasons, especially when it's your first years of college basketball. I always like to end on two questions here. The first one, gonna be a fun one. Second one makes you think a little bit here, but the first one, if you could dunk on any NBA player, past or present, who would it be and why?
Um, I probably think on Mutombo
There you go.
uh, because he blocked everybody's shot, and
Uh
I just want to dunk on him and let him know he not gonna block mine.
huh. Oh,
That's just for fun.
that's a good one
Yeah.
right there. That's one I haven't heard yet either. But I mean, you're going right for the big dogs right there. You get a dunk over Matumbo.
No doubt. You
Uh,
can't go for small dogs in this conversation.
You can't. You cannot. That's going for the top dog right there. I mean, that's just not the big dog. That is the top dog right there. So I like that answer. I like that confidence right there. And I mean, you've had such a unique journey in basketball. So to finish up here, I feel like this gives you just kind of a nice way to describe what basketball means to you. I mean, if you could describe basketball in one word or phrase, how would you describe it?
Um, I think for me, I think basketball is my life pretty much.
Hmm.
I think it's the uh, first I don't know, like first thing that I fell in love with
Hmm.
outside of my family, and I think that's pretty crazy. And
Yeah.
just being able to rely on it day in and day out. Like when I'm feeling down,
Hmm.
basketball is always there for me to pick me back up. When I'm going through hard times, basketball is always there for me to rely on and just pick myself up. I think for those reasons, I think, basketball is truly my first love.
I mean, that's a strong way to describe it right there. Some powerful words, but I mean, that's definitely the great thing about basketball. Great thing about any sport really. Something you can fall back on. Something that's always there. That's constant. I know, obviously, in a time like now, you got that pandemic going on. So, unfortunately, things are a little bit different. But we're getting back to normal, and hopefully, we'll get there sooner rather than later. But
Hopefully, yes.
exactly. I mean, you've had a great first couple years at UC Santa Barbara. I mean, this season, I'm sure you guys are excited to get back to things. Best of luck. Oh, yeah. I mean, best of luck in your junior year here. I hope you guys get started on time.
Thanks, I appreciate it, Nick.
No problem at all. And then, Amadou, thanks so much for joining us here on the site today. It was great to have you on.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
No problem at all. I mean, we'd love to have you on again for sure. Maybe after the junior season. If you ever dunk on Matumbo, you got to give us a call. You got to speak about it on the site.
For sure.
All right, good. That's what we like to hear right there. We're going to put your Twitter down below so that people can give you a follow, keep updated with your career at Santa Barbara and beyond. And we'll also put a link to the UC Santa Barbara basketball page so you guys can follow for news and updates throughout the season and the off season. But guys, thanks so much for joining us here on Ed Sports Network today for another interview in our summer series. Hope you guys are doing well. But guys, as always, we'll see you guys next time.